Okay, it looks like we're ready to go. Good evening, everyone. My name is James Malcolm. I'm the chair of the Ulster County IDA. As you're all well aware, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the agency is holding this public hearing by remote access or Zoom. Given the number of people attending this public hearing and the issues relating to technology, before we get started this evening, I am going to ask our remote access host, as well as our CEO, Rose Woodward, to review our operating rules for the conducting of this public hearing. Rose, please proceed.
As the host, I muted everyone's line so that we can keep background noise to a minimum. All participants can enter and leave the public hearing at their convenience. If anyone has any problems, please call the following number, 845-338-4444. When we get to the public comment section of the public hearing, please indicate that you want to make a comment by noting so in the chat section of the program. We will recognize you in order. We will turn off your mute, ask you to make your comments, and then move on to the next person. Note that when you are recognized, you should give your full name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If you have joined the public hearing via your cell phone or landline, you will need to send us an email at info@ulstercountyida.com indicating that you want to make a public comment. Lastly, we want to make clear that the agency will be holding the public comment period open for 2 weeks following this evening's public hearing. So if for any reason you're not able to make a comment tonight, there will be an opportunity to provide written comments following the public hearing. Thank you for your attention. Jimmy?
Okay, so let's get started. First, we'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the mission statement of the agency. The mission statement of the agency is the following. The mission of the Ulster County IDA is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-term economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonds, and other assistance to foster creation and attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing business. Tonight, we seem to be joined by CEO Rose Woodward, our attorney and counsel Joseph Scott. We have the applicants are both here and court reporter, I believe, or?
Yes.
I know you're back there. I know you're hiding behind that reporter thing, that non-video, so. So good. Good evening. My name is James Malcolm. I'm the chair of the Ulster IDA in connection with the project, which is the subject of this public hearing. Today, we're holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement of the agency with a project for the benefit of RTH Realty Holdings, a New York State limited liability company. The proposed project consists of the following. One, the acquisition of an interest in a certain parcel of land containing approximately 3.5 acres and located on 323 Upper North Road in the town of Lloyd, Ulster County, New York. The construction thereon of an approximately 12,000 square foot building and the acquisition and installation therein and thereon of certain machinery, equipment, and other personal property. All of the foregoing to be owned by the company and operated by a free incorporated as a storing and warehousing facility of furniture, artwork, and accessories relating to home furnishing and any other directly and indirectly related activities. The granting of certain financial assistance within the meaning of Section 854, Paragraph 14 of the Act with respect to the foregoing, including potential exemptions from certain sales and use taxes, real property taxes, real estate transfer taxes, and mortgage recording taxes, collectively the financial assistance, and C, the lease with an obligation of purchase or sale of the project facility to the company or such other person as may be designated by the company and agreed upon by the agency. I intend to provide general information on the agency's general authority and public purpose to provide assistance to this proposed project. I will then open the comment period to receive comments from all present who wish to comment on either the proposed project or financial assistance contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. amount of financing assistance being considered by the agency. However, before discussing the general information and opening the hearing for public comments, I would like to first describe some details regarding the project as outlined in the completed application. In the application, the company has represented the following. The project will create at least 5 FTEs jobs following the second year of operation of the project facility. The creation of these jobs will increase local tax revenue and consumer spending in the community. That the company would not undertake the project without the assistance being offered by the agency. That the company understands and recognizes that the assistance being offered by the agency is subject to clawback under the agency's clawback policy if the company does not complete the project or maintain required employment levels. The estimated costs of the project are equal to approximately $4,375,952, and the estimated benefits being considered by the agency are described briefly as follows. Sales tax exemption estimated at $200,000. Mortgage recording tax exemption, $29,538 estimated. And real property tax exemption, $197,604 estimated. A table describing the proposed amount of pilot payments to be paid by the company is provided on the agency's website. The proposed pilot abatement schedule is determined in accordance with the agency's uniform tax exemption policy. Please note the following with respect to the proposed pilot structure. Real property tax exemption is being considered for the construction thereon of an approximately 12,000 square foot building. Under the pilot structure, the amount of existing property taxes being paid with respect to the project site shall not be decreased. The company has applied for the 10-year pilot structure under the agency's uniform tax exemption policy. If the company qualifies for such schedule, the schedule provides for 100% exemption in year 1, with the amount of abatement diminishing by 10% a year until year 10. In year 11, the project will be paying an amount equal to full property taxes. Note further, the company would most likely be eligible for a similar exemption under Section 485B of the real property tax law. Such exemption is available without the involvement of the agency, without any requirement to complete the project and to maintain job levels. Lastly, the 10-year pilot structure does not provide any abatement to the company for special district charges such as water or sewer charges. The company is responsible for paying the full amount of such charges. Finally, under the IDA documents, the company will be subject to recapture of the financial assistance upon the occurrence of certain recapture events. Examples of recapture events include the failure to complete the proposed project and make the promised investment and maintenance of the promised job levels. Legal authorization and powers of the agency. The provisions of Chapter 1030 of Laws of 1969 of New York constituting Title I of Article 18-A of the General Municipal Law, Chapter 24, the Consolidated Laws of New York as amended, and Chapter 787 of the 1976 Laws of New York as amended, constituting Section 923 of said General Municipal Law, collectively known as the Act, authorize the agency to promote, develop, encourage, assist in the acquiring, constructing, reconstructing, improving, maintaining, and equipping and furnishing of manufacturing, warehousing, research, commercial, and industrial facilities, among others. The purpose of this public hearing, pursuant to Section 859-A, Paragraph 2 of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, otherwise known as the Act, prior to the agency providing any financial assistance as defined in the Act of more than $100,000 to any project, the agency, among other things, must hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 859-A of the Act with respect to said project. Since the proposed financial assistance to be provided by the agency with respect to the proposed project may exceed $100,000, then prior to providing any financial assistance as defined in the Act of more than $100,000 to the proposed project, the agency must hold a public hearing on the nature and location of the project facility and the proposed financial assistance to be provided by the agency with respect to the proposed project. After consideration of the application received from the company, the members of the agency adopted a resolution on January 20th, 2021, authorizing the agency to conduct this public hearing with respect to the proposed project pursuant to Section 859-A, Paragraph 2 of the Act. By way of background, notice of this public hearing was published on May 8th, 2021 in the Daily Freeman, a newspaper of general circulation, available to the residents of the town of Lloyd, Ulster County, New York. In addition, as required by the New York law, the notice of this public hearing was mailed on May 6th, 2021 to the town supervisor of the town of Lloyd, the chairman of the county legislature of Ulster County, and the superintendent and the Board of Education president of the Highlands Central School District. Lastly, copies of the public hearing notice were posted May 6, 2021 on the agency's website. Copies of this notice of this public hearing are available on the agency's website. Now, unless there's any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of this public hearing and instead request that the full text of the notice of this public hearing be inserted into the into the record of this public hearing. The comments received today at this public hearing will be presented to the members of the agency at or prior to the meeting at which the members of the agency will consider whether to approve the undertaking of the proposed project by the agency and the granting by the agency of any financial assistance in excess of $100,000 with respect to the proposed project. The agency currently intends to consider the comments received this evening regarding the proposed project at the meeting of the agency to be held on June 16, 2021. This meeting, like all meetings of the agency, is open to the public. Written comment. The notice of this public hearing indicated that written comment could be addressed to Rose Woodworth, the CEO of the agency. We have not received any written comment prior to this public hearing to be included in the public record. I will now introduce Kathy Hobbs. Were you getting tired, Kathy, listening to me read all that? Who is appearing on behalf of the company, who will describe the proposed project in further detail. Please.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Kathy Hobbs, and I am the owner of RTH Realty Holdings, LLC. We are proposing to build a 12,000 square foot passive building, a multi-use passive building, which will be the first of its kind in North America. We are also aiming to be carbon neutral. I own a staging company, a home staging company, and we're going to be using it as our headquarters and our storage facility for our furniture and our accessories. We will be bringing jobs to the area. We currently are in a temporary location. I have been a resident in Ulster County since 2012. I actually owned a home since 2009, but full-time since 2012. And I decided to make this the home for my business. And we're very excited to be a great partner in Ulster County and expand in the Hudson Valley. One of the main aspects that I'm excited about as well is currently we don't really have a proper way to transition some of our gently used furniture. So we'll be able to donate to foster care agencies, as well as those people transitioning from homelessness to work, to be able to donate some of our gently used furniture in that way. So that's basically the project in a nutshell.
Quick question, I don't think I asked you before. Is this going to be a pre-engineered building?
The fabrication of the building is that it's panelized. So there is a fabrication company located in Maine that produces prefabricated passive panels. The panels have been built. They're sitting in Maine, right now. And basically the building would be erected as walls, and then you would put siding on the exterior of those walls.
That being the case, it is the fabricator who's doing the erecting, or does he have, people who have franchises down this way or in a tri-state area?
No, the building was actually built for someone else, and then it became available. So I actually didn't commission it. I bought the panels that were already built. There's a local contractor who we have, it was bid out, and we selected Baxter for the project.
All right, well, thank you, because I always, I always urge our applicants to try to utilize, local contractors and, the local labor that's
Oh,
out there.
absolutely.
So, hey, good stuff. I'm glad that's the direction you went as far as that. You have anything else that you'd like to discuss on it?
No,
You're
I
good?
don't.
Counsel for the applicant, anything? Okay, I'm now going to open up this meeting for public comment. What are we at, 7:15? I can't hear you, Rose. You muted yourself. All right, please follow the operating rules described at the beginning of the public hearing, namely indicate by the chat program that you want to make a public comment. We will recognize you in order. We will unmute your line, and then you can make your comments. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address for the record. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes so that all those present today may have a chance to comment for the record. If your comments mirror those of someone who has already spoken, you may so indicate that they relinquish your time to another speaker so that all views represented at this hearing may be heard. When everyone has had the opportunity to speak, I will conclude this public hearing. A record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by the members of the agency in connection with the agency's consideration of the proposed project. In order to ensure that the public has adequate time to provide comments to the agency on this proposed project, the agency will hold the comment period for this proposed project open until 5 p.m. June 2nd, 2021. All comments received by the close of business on June 2nd, 2021 will be included in the official record of the agency with respect to the proposed project. Again, the purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public comment. We're not here to answer questions. However, we will, in the course of this public hearing, consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. I will now ask if there was anyone attending the public hearing who wishes to comment on either the nature or location of the project, facility, or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. For the record, please state your name and indicate your comments on either the proposed project or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. Rose, do we have anybody out there?
I know, Jimmy, there's not, and there's nothing in the inbox either.
So we started this at 7 o'clock, right? So we have our 15 minutes? Yes?
We do, Chair. If you want to round up to 20, then we'll head home. That would be great.
That works for me. Okay, we're just gonna look at each other here for a little while. How did you end up coming up to the Hudson Valley, Kathy?
Well, it's a long story, but my husband.
Got 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, my husband and I actually got engaged in Nantucket. And I didn't know that he was proposing. He said that, he said, "I love you." And I said, "I love you too." He said, "Do you want to marry me?" And I said, "Sure." I didn't realize he was proposing. And he said, "Well, I have something for you." And, gave the ring, and we had spent a week in Nantucket, and we said, "You know what? We love being able to get away from the city." So my promise to him when we got married was that I would give him a house upstate. And so we bought a little 800 square foot cottage that the guy didn't even lock, and we made something of it.
Oh, nice.
And we lived there in Saugerties until about a year and a half ago. We were living in a little 800 square foot cottage that was so cute. And
you have a daughter too, right?
I have a daughter, and that's one of the reasons we actually took the roof off her room to give her a 2-level so she could climb up to give her a little bit more room. But I'm not joking, it was 800 square feet. And by the time we were done with it, from siding to finishes, we got 2 all cash offers, and people were lining up for it. So, and that was 11 years later. So that's how we got up here. And I just really, we decided to educate our child here. I mean, she plays soccer here, and she's, this is the only school system that she's known.
Well, don't tell everybody else about it because they'll all want to move up here.
I think it's too late.
Yeah.
I think it's too late.
It's funny when you talk to people, you know, if people are from downtown or they're from the boroughs, then, you know, Westchester County's the country. You know, and if you're from Westchester County, you get up here and, you know, I met a lot of smart people that live and work up in this area that are pretty sharp, you know. So we're glad you're an addition to it. It's really a great area, and hopefully your business takes off. And I will tell you this: if you're starting a business in a town of Lloyd, I lived here my whole life. You could be here another 75 years, and you'll be that new lady who's got the business up on Upper North Road.
Oh, really?
That's true.
Good-
Yeah.
good people. Yeah.
Well, they have to get to know me. They know me in Saugerties. Everybody knows me in Saugerties. The building inspector, he tries to run for me in you know, in the Lowe's in Kingston, but he can't. Really nice guy.
Well, that's good. And again, we're glad that you're creating opportunity in the town of Lloyd, but more importantly in Ulster County. And you know, as I said, I always urge. I've had applicants in here that said, "Well, we're going to use this contractor we know from such and such, and you know, because he does business with us." And I look at them and I say, "Well, when the people from that county are the ones that are subsidizing your project or creating an incentive from you, then that would be fine. But I'm not ashamed to be a homer and cheer for the local workers and local contractors in the area and the contiguous counties, I should say. So we're glad."
Well, I'm local. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not coming from an outside area. You know.
No, I'm not saying you
Right,
are.
which is
but
good because I'm part of the community, which is.
I am saying there's been projects that have been done where we've had contractors from Connecticut or Pennsylvania. They brought some workforce in from there. And so again, what I'm trying to do is applaud the fact that you're using a local contractor who utilizes local people because they're the ones that pay the freight. So where are we at, Joe? We good?
We're good. We're at 7:23. So thank you very much for your patience, Chair, and thanks for everyone for you attending. So back to you, Chair.
She's lucky she wasn't here for the first meeting today. I was a little amped up this morning. Okay, before closing a public hearing, I'll ask Kathy again, who is appearing on behalf of the company, if she has any additional comments.
Oh, I do not.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll remind you all that the agency will hold a comment period for this proposed project open until 5 p.m. June 3rd, 2021. All comments received by the close of this business on June 2nd, 2021. At the close of business on June 2nd, 2021 will be included in the official record of the agency with respect to the proposed project. Further, the meeting at which the agency will formally consider the comments received regarding the proposed project at a later meeting of the agency. This meeting, like all meetings of the agency, is open to the public. So we'll now close this public hearing at 7:24 p.m. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Chair.
We're good?
Good
Great.
luck.
Good luck.
Thank you, Ian.
Yes. Good to see you. Thank you.
Bye now.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Yeah.